Hare Krishna. Welcome to the special session for student presentations on Shri Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So let's start with Mangalacharan prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tharine He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we will recite the dedication to the six Goswamis, the first two paragraphs of the Shad Goswami Ashtakam. I will share my screen. Krishna Kirtana Gana Nartana Paro Premamritambo Nidhi Dhira Dhira Jana Priya Priya Karo Nirmatsaro Pujito Shri Chaitanya Kripa Bharo Bhuvi Bhuvo Bharavahantarako Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghuyugo Shri Jiva Gopalako Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipuno Sadharma Samsthapako Lokanam Hitakarino Tribhuvane Manyo Sharanyakaro Radha Krishna Padarvinda Bhajana Nandena Mattaliko Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghuyugo Shri Jiva Gopalako. Okay. Thank you, everyone. So, we will start with the student presentations, and we'll start with the first student. So this particular student has requested not to record, so I will pause recording. Hare Krishna. So now we have our next student, Makarand Prabhu, who will present. Let me make you co-host. Hi. Do you have slides or?
Yeah, I'll have slides. 1
You
second.
can share. Okay, so it is 6:03 or 6:04. You can go till 6:30, including Q&A. So 20 minutes plus 5.
I'll take a second just to, because I'm doing it first time. Where's my slide gone? Am I audible, Babuji?
Yes. And you need to turn on your camera.
Yes. That too. I'm expecting some help from my son.
Should we go to the next student while you figure it out?
Prabhuji, give me a minute, just a minute.
And for the next student after Makarand Prabhu, I have sent a direct message to you on the chat. Can you have a look?
Yeah, bhai. Wahi what is completed. Okay. Can you switch on the camera and this is the presentation? Camera.
Yeah, we can see your screen sharing.
Yeah. And can you hear me also, please?
Yeah, we can hear you and now we can see you as well.
Okay. I'm sorry for the delay. Bit of incompetence on my part, actually.
No problem. Please start.
Good evening, dear devotees. Today, on the auspicious day of Ekadashi, I'll be presenting to you the 6 characteristics of bhakti. As it is my first presentation on Zoom, kindly bear with me if I falter at some time. First of all, I pay my respectful obeisances to my teacher, our teacher, Sri Param Karunadas Prabhuji, who has so diligently and lovingly taken us along this spiritual journey of Shastra Adhyan in last many years. May we be worthy of this monumental effort. Devotees, I welcome you for this spiritual samvad, which is going to be bi-directional. So, first of all, I would like to go through a few takeaways for devotees from the memorization verses of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, because I think this is the base on which the rest of the topic will be built up. So the major takeaways are, first is the transcendental loving service, bhakti, should be rendered to the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna, who is the cause of all causes, without any other desire, without any other material desire. All other desires should be at zero level. The devotional service has to be favorable and in consistent mode. It cannot be off and on kind of thing. It should not be inspired from any fruitive desires or any other philosophical speculation, like, the Brahman kind of approach. Then our senses, which are clean from the material contamination, have to be fully engaged in the service of the proprietor of the senses, the one who has given us the senses. The senses must be engaged towards him only. And once we are spiritually saturated with all the transcendental service to the Lord, then only his name, his form, his quality, and his pastimes will be revealed to us in a proper understanding. Also, when we accept everything, or any devotee who accepts everything in a detached way, all material things also, but in a detached way, but in relation to Krishna, he is rightly situated above possessiveness and can be called a Yukta Vairagi. And last is that pure bhakti, Uttam Bhakti, is beyond any desire of bhukti or mukti. It only desires seva at the lotus feet of the Lord. Now, with this background, let us start with the characteristics of bhakti. These are actually 6 in number, and important is to know that these are not the motivations for bhakti. These 6 characteristics are not the motivation for bhakti. These are rather the byproducts of bhakti, the lakshanas. These are the byproducts of bhakti. And as we make progress in our bhakti, from sadhan bhakti to bhav bhakti, from bhav bhakti to prem bhakti, gradually all these lakshanas start appearing. Now, what are these 6 characteristics? In brief, first is Kleshagni, which is destroyer of material suffering. Second is Shubda, which is bestowing of auspiciousness. And both of these occur during the sadhan bhakti, or the first stage of Uttam Bhakti. Somewhere during sadhan bhakti. Then as we end the sadhan bhakti and we enter into the bhava stage, then the other 2 lakshanas appear, which are moksha lagutakrit. That means the bhakti is towering much higher above the concept of liberation or moksha. The fourth one is Sudurlabha. Durlabh and very Durlabh. So it's very, very difficult to attain. And that's a very important point. We'll come to it when we discuss a little bit in detail. The fifth one, the fifth characteristics which appears at the stage of Prem Bhakti is Sandranand Visheshatma. Unparalleled, dense bliss, very dense bliss, and which is unparalleled. Sandranand Visheshatma. And the last one, which is the ultimate, is Shri Krishna Akarshini. That means the characteristic which attracts Krishna himself. So now let us look at these characteristics one by one. First will be Kleshagni. Now, what's the meaning of Klesh? Klesh basically is any kind of suffering is called Klesh. In Kali Yuga, it's more. We see it all around us. And we can basically divide the kleshas into 3 categories. The first one is Pap, which is sinful reaction. The other one is Bijam, which is the seed of sinful desires. And third one is Avidya, ignorance. So let us discuss these one by one. First, we'll discuss Pap. Pap or sinful reaction. Now, Pap, these are of 2 kinds. We can subdivide them into Prarabdha and Aprarabdha. Prarabdha are those papas which have already manifested. We are going through them in our current life, or we have just gone through them. So those are called the uh, prarabdh papas. And then the other category is aprarabdh. These are sanchit prarabdhs, which are lying there to manifest at some point of time. They may manifest today, tomorrow, 1 week later, 1 year later, or maybe in the next life. So when we carry out Krishna Bhakti, Uttam Bhakti, that destroys all of these. It destroys the prarabdh pap and the aprarabdh pap. Now, aprarabdh pap, for this, there is a verse in Srimad Bhagavatam 11.14.19, in which Krishna says to Uddhav, my dear Uddhav, just as a blazing fire turns firewood into ashes, similarly, devotion into me completely burns to ashes sins committed by my devotees. And this devotion is through Navdha Bhakti. So, now for the aprarabdh pap, there are two ways to destroy them. One is to let them manifest one by one, like small bonfires, and keep on suffering, because everything will not occur in one go. Some suffering will come now, some will come a little later, some will come maybe in the next lifetime. But once the process of bhakti is started, when the Uttam Bhakti is started, then all these aprarabdh paps, they become like a pile of firewood, a dry firewood, which can be burnt with a small ignition, and it can be burnt very fast. So all the aprarabdh paps that way can be burnt in one go. The process is very fast. And this huge baggage of firewood which we are carrying can go away. Now, prarabdha, for prarabdha, the moment, a bhakta sees the Lord in front of him or takes his name, because Lord's name is even higher than Lord himself. So when he takes his name, then the all debilitating kind of suffering goes away, and it goes away in a jiffy. It goes away very fast. It's like a needle piercing hundreds of petals in one go, a sharp needle. It happens gradually, but happens at the same time very fast also. So anything which is related to unfortunate birth or any aprarabdh papa of the previous life, they all get burnt in this way. But still, one question comes up that still some devotees suffer. So why the devotees suffer? Now the question is why devotees suffer. The answer is that pure devotees never suffer. They never suffer because they may be going through some pain but not suffering. And what Krishna does, he increases their level of tolerance so that whatever pain comes their way, they're able to tolerate it and they can focus on the higher objective. Sometimes, this suffering is given by Lord himself, because he wants to remove the remaining attachments of the devotee, the remaining attachments with physical world. He wants to remove them. Sometimes devotee also suffers if he has done some Vaishnava aparadh towards another Vaishnava. And last but not the least, body itself is a karmic product. So all prarabdhs cannot be destroyed. Some will remain, because if everything is destroyed, then body will also be immediately destroyed. So more chanting, more destruction, and that is how this Klesh Agni works. The second Klesh Agni, Klesh, sorry, The second klesha is bijam. Bijam is the seed for sinful desires. You can remove papas, whatever prarabdha or aprarabdha you have created. But if the seed is there, you will keep on generating more and more of them. So, with the, I mean, with pure devotional practice, even this desire for doing further path, it goes away. So the bijam, gets destroyed. And the third part of klesh is, which is coming out of avidya, ignorance, because this is the main reason, which is the root cause of attachment to matter. And this is the reason, avidya is the reason what actually gives rise first to bijam, and then bijam gives rise to pap. So the sequence is avidya, avidya to bij, bij to pap. So avidya is at the root of everything. And avidya is taken care of by bhakti. Bhakti is converting avidya to vidya. And there are 5 steps for that. The steps are that when you start hearing Krishna Katha and you start doing Kirtan, then Krishna is washing dirt from inside the heart. He's our friend. So he keeps on washing the dirt which has settled inside our heart. What is that dirt? That is material contamination dirt, basically. Then when we start hearing Srimad Bhagavad Katha and hear it from devotees, then they start ingraining. The effect is that they start ingraining bhakti into our heart. First clean the heart, then start putting the beautiful bhakti into our heart. And how you can assess it? You can assess it because the propensity of the rajas and the tamas, which is calm, lobh, etc., they no more affect your mind. The mind starts getting situated in satogun. So that is the measurement. And once the mind is settled in satogun, it feels happy, peaceful, and the attachment to material things minimizes. And most importantly, the false ego is diminishing. So once this happens, then the knot of doubts, the big knot of doubts which is there in the human mind, and that is what is creating avidya, that is gone. And all baggage of karma is destroyed. And then Lord can be seen very clearly in one's heart. So this is how bhakti acts as kleshagni. Now we'll discuss the second characteristics, which is shubhda. Shubhda, as the word suggests, shubhda. That means giver of auspiciousness, bestower of auspiciousness. Here also there are 4 kinds of shubhdas. The first 2 kinds, Prinaram and Anuraktata, these have been described in the verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 4.9.47. And what happens here? What happens that the bhakta sees all living entities as Krishna's children. He starts seeing all living entities as Krishna's children. He loses all sense of I and mine. So he becomes devoid of false ego. That is so important. And then thirdly, what happens is that such a bhakt offers his own object of love. What is the object of love? Is Krishna himself. So he starts sharing him with everyone without any sense of proprietorship. So this is one kind of auspiciousness, or 2 kinds of auspiciousness. Then the third kind of auspiciousness is sadgun. Sadgun is good qualities. It's very natural, that when you are moving to unalloyed bhakti, then the Lord also becomes kind of subservient to the Bhakt. And once the Lord is becoming subservient, all the demigods also surrender to the Bhakt. And they all together bestow good qualities, sadguna, to the Bhakta. The last of the fourth auspiciousnesses is happiness. Now, happiness are also of three kinds. One is which is coming by material things, which is called Vaishaikam. Second is which is called Moksha, which is coming with Brahman realization. And the third and the best one is the one which is called Aishwaryam, which is coming directly from the Lord. So, highest, material happiness can be mystic practices, like we call siddhis and all those things. The other one is Brahman realization, which can give you sukh, but it cannot give you param anand. Why it cannot give param anand? Because it is little bit bland. It is dry. It's a dry thing. It has no variety. It has no seva bhav in it. The sweetness of seva bhav is missing. So, for a pure devotee, the real happiness is achieved in Lord's seva only. And a bhakt knows that the bhakti of Krishna is the highest place because there is no fear of missing out, no FOMO in this. There is no fear of missing out. Once you are targeting this highest place, there is nothing which you are, left out with. Now let us move to the third Lakshana, which is Moksha Lagutakrati. Now this Lakshana characteristics becomes evident either at the end of sadhan bhakti or in the beginning or somewhere in the beginning of the bhav bhakti, which is the second stage of uttam bhakti. And what happens here is that the bhakti of Krishna makes the concept of moksha or liberation look very small. It's no more that high standing target. So bhakti is causing kind of a total disregard for moksha. And it is said that the fourth purusharths like dharma, arth, kam and moksha, they become like a blade of grass in front of a tall tree. So you start seeing the meaningless of moksha because you have developed the taste for a higher thing. There are only two ways to become bigger. Like if a line has to be shortened, the only way is to draw a bigger line in front of it. So if moksha has to be shortened, or shortened means its value has to be understood a little bit lower, is when you develop taste or you start relishing a higher taste, right? So in Narad Pancharatra, it is said that Mukti and Siddhis, they follow the queen of Hari Bhakti like maid servants. Their importance is like that. They are important, but as important as the maid servant of a queen. Then we come to the fourth characteristic, which is Sudurlabha. See, normally we feel that, once we are knocking at Krishna's door, he will immediately reciprocate. And the doors will be open to you. In fact, in Bhagavad Gita 8.14, it says that Bhakti is Sulabh. Whoever comes to me, Krishna says, whoever comes to me with an Ananya Bhakti approach, I am easily available to him. I am Sulabh to him. But here, the fact of the matter is that getting this Bhava Bhakti is Sudurlabha. You are at the right place, you are knocking at the right door, but you are not sure, you are not at all assured when that door will be open, when Krishna is going to smile upon you. He will certainly smile, that much assurance is there. But when, that is his own sweet will. So you can continue to perform, the devotee can continue to perform sadhan bhakti at the best of his capacity. And for that, there are many, many ways to do it. You can go the Navdha way, you can go the 64 limbs way, or whichever way you go to develop that asakti. But still, it is Krishna's prerogative whether he grants you the bhav or not, or when he grants you the bhav. He can give it to you anytime, but it's not like that if the process has ended, immediately the result will come, which is the case, let's say, when you are approaching, when your target is liberation or mukti, then you finish the steps, there is a process for that, and the moment the process is completed, the liberation is imminent and immediate and guaranteed. But, and in this process, actually, Krishna's love is not required. Love and attachment to Krishna is not a component of this. So, but bhav and followed by prem, they cannot be obtained by such a process. So, the devotee's job is to keep performing sadhan bhakti at the best of his ability with 3S approach and with a desire to develop asakti for Krishna. And he can check with other devotees who are already asakt that, how to go about it. But the result is entirely with Krishna. And the reason for that is very simple. Why Krishna is taking time or takes time is because once he gives his mercy to you in form of bhav bhakti, then Krishna comes under the authority of the devotee. So he takes his own time. Now coming to the third stage of Uttam Bhakti, which is Prem Bhakti. The first characteristics and overall the fifth characteristic is Sandranand Visheshatma. Sandra Anand Visheshatma. Sandra is concentration, Anand is bliss, Visheshatma is unparalleled. So unimaginable condensed bliss, very high bliss. That is the bliss of becoming one with the Supreme. Nothing can be higher than that. And that is what Krishna Bhakti is giving to the devotee. In comparison, if a Brahman realization person, it is said that the bliss of Brahman realization accumulated by samadhi lasting half a lifetime of Brahma cannot be compared to even an atomic fraction of the ocean of happiness of this bhakti. This Sandranand. Another example which is given is that happiness of impersonal Brahman is as much as the water in a hoof print of a cow. And happiness of Krishna Bhakti is like an ocean in comparison. So you can see where is impersonal Brahman or the liberation concept and where is the Krishna Bhakti concept. It is so effective that people, the realized people like Sanat Kumars, who are already, sthit in Brahman realization, when they absorb the breeze carrying the aroma of the tulsi leaves emanating from the lotus feet of the Lord, there were changes observed in their body and mind, even if they were realized souls. So it is so effective. So now we can see that there are three levels of happiness. One is Shubdha Sukham, which was the second characteristic, which is higher than sense gratification. And it is coming to the devotee at sadhan bhakti stage. And then second is moksha, which is coming, moksha lagutakrat, which is coming at the bhav bhakti stage. And the third is sandranand visheshatma, which is the highest one, so high that this happiness even is attracting Krishna himself. So the last one, with that we move on to the last one, which is Shri Krishna Akarshini. Shri Krishna Akarshini. Krishna Bhakti is so powerful that it attracts Lord Shri Krishna. It makes them, Shri Krishna as well as his pure devotees, associates, it makes them addicted to the devotee. They get addicted to the devotee. And it brings him under the control of the devotee, so to say. It's kind of a hypnotism, like Vashikaran. That Krishna enters into the prem bhav of the devotee, and his associates also enter into the prem bhav of the devotee. So in Srimad Bhagavat 11.14.20, Krishna says, "My dear Uddhav, the unalloyed devotional service rendered to me by my devotee bring me under their control. It cannot be controlled by those engaged in mystic yoga, Sankhya, pious work, Vedic study, austerity, or renunciation." So, also in the same context, Narad Muni is explaining to Yudhishthir Maharaj that you are all very fortunate that Lord Krishna himself visits your house, your home so often, even sleeps there, just like a human being. Lord doesn't go to anybody's house just like that. But he visited the Pandavas' house many times, even without being invited. Because he is kind of subservient to his devotees. So, in the nutshell, we can say that Lord Krishna attracts the whole world, even Cupids, but Prem Bhakti attracts him and Srimati Radharani. He gets hypnotized to them. And Prem Bhakti is one which keeps on increasing every moment, never ceases to, never stops. It keeps on increasing. So with this, I'll finish my presentation and open to any questions if there are. Thank you.
Very nice presentation, Makarand Prabhu. Any questions or comments by devotees or appreciation? So very nice presentation, Makarand Prabhu. Okay, I'll let Shalila Mataji go. Go ahead.
Krishna Prabhuji, such a beautiful explanation that you gave, and especially since you bifurcated into the three parts, that was very nice for the characteristics that you did. So I really liked it. Thank you so much. And thank you so much also for so much nectar from the Bhagavatam. That was wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. This was, we did this such a long time ago that it was a good refresher for me also, going through all these 6 characteristics. And I think for all the devotees attending, it's a good refresher. And especially for the upcoming test and all that for Bhakti Shastri, it will be a good opportunity to get yourself reviewed or review the various concepts. I think he covered all the concepts. It was a very quick review of all the important concepts of the 6 characteristics. Thank you very much, Makarand.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Anyone else? All right, very nice. Thank you, Makarand Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We will go to the next student. And I also want to appreciate Makarand Prabhu that at your senior age, you are taking this up. This is very, very appreciated,
Thank you, Prabhu.
Not easy to undergo this kind of a study. And you have taken up that commitment. It is very, very, very nice. And, I don't know if I was at your age, I would be able to do it, something like that.
Prabhuji, I thoroughly
So it's
enjoyed
very nice commitment, part and interest.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much. Okay. We'll go to the next presentation, last presentation for today by Shameshwari Mataji on a very important topic, Raganuga Bhakti. So I'll turn it over to you. You can stop your presentation, Makrant Prabhu.
Ji.
You know how to do that?
Yeah, I think so.
I can do that for you. Hold on. Okay.
Thank you.
You are okay with the recording, Shameshwari Mataji? Are you on mute?
Yeah, sorry, Prabhuji.
All right. Okay, welcome, Shameshwari Mataji. And please start whenever you are ready.
Yeah, can you see my screen, Prabhuji?
Yeah, we can see your screen, we can see you, and we can hear you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So first, I would like to thank Paramkarna Prabhuji for giving me opportunity to speak on such a deep topic, though I am not eligible, but I will try my best to cover the things that, few things that Paramkarna Prabhuji covered in our classes. And I would also like to thanks to our all Guru Paramparas who have given us such a nectar that we try to deep into that. And also I would like to thanks to all the devotees who have joined today. So I will start my presentation on Raganuga Bhakti.
We lost your slides, or we lost your sharing.
Oh.
Okay, we can see now.
Yeah. So I will start with the Raganuga Bhakti. So what is the definition of Raganuga Bhakti? So Raganuga Bhakti is the bhakti which follows the footsteps of Ragatmika Bhaktas. It's called Raganuga Bhakti. So who are the Raganuga Bhaktas? Ragatmika Bhaktas? All the Vrajavasis who have developed the human relationship with Krishna and who loves Krishna in human form are the Ragatmika Bhaktas. And we will also discuss Ragatmika Bhaktas in detail in future slides. And there are two types of Raganuga Bhakti, Kamanuga Bhakti and Sambandhanuga Bhakti. So the bhakti that follows the footsteps of Kamarupa Ragatmika Bhaktas is called Kamanuga Bhakti. And the bhakti which follows the footsteps of Sambandha Rupa Ragatmika Bhaktas is called Sambandhanuga Bhakti. An example of Kamanuga and Sambandhanuga Bhakti, that it depends like how whom we have selected, which Vrajavasi devotee we have selected, and we have chosen according to our natural inclination. So so to understand the Raganuga Bhakti, it is very important to discuss in brief about the Ragatmika Bhaktas. So we'll discuss about Ragatmika Bhakti. Yeah. So what is Ragatmika Bhakti? The devotees who have strongly attached to Lord Krishna according to their natural inclination to love him, and the devotees who are fully absorbed in thoughts of Krishna without any deviation. That kind of bhakti is called Ragatmika Bhakti. And there are two types of Ragatmika Bhakti, Kamarupa Ragatmika Bhakti and Sambandharupa Ragatmika Bhakti. So Kamarupa Ragatmika Bhakti is the bhakti which appears as a conjugal love for Krishna, is Kamarupa Ragatmika Bhakti. And gopis are the best example of Kamarupa Ragatmika Bhakti. And next is Sambandharupa Ragatmika Bhakti. Sambandharupa Ragatmika Bhakti, which appears due to the relationship identification with Krishna, is Sambandharupa Ragatmika Bhakti. And best examples are Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda Maiya, Krishna's friends like Subal, and Sudama. These are the Sambandharupa, and also servants also comes under Sambandharupa Ragatmika Bhakti. And we can see only Brajavasis comes under the category of Ragatmika Bhakti because they are fully absorbed in the love for Krishna, and they love Krishna not because for their godly qualities. In Ragatmika Bhaktas, Aishwarya Gyan Pradhan is very negligible. They have that knowledge, but it is not predominating. Their bhakti, their love for Krishna is predominating in the Ragatmika Bhakti. Yeah. And also to develop Raganuka Bhakti, the requirement is full, complete absorption is required. There is no other deviation. They are completely absorbed into Krishna, and they love Krishna in Krishna's human form, not because of his godly quality. Yeah, and also we can also see from here, because they love Krishna in the human form. So we can see Naratva, Tattva of Krishna is Pradhan here. But in other bhakti, like in Raganuga Bhakti, their intent, in Raga, to follow Raga, to come into Raganuga Bhakti, one should follow Ragatmika Bhaktas. Then according to our nature and according to our inclination to love Krishna, we can select Vrajavasi devotees in Kamarupa Ragatmika Bhakti or Sambandharupa according to our natural inclination for Sri Krishna. Yeah. Yeah. So to understand which relationship or what relationship we can develop with the Sri Krishna, we can understand from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.274, where 6 relationships are defined in which we can develop relationship with Krishna. Kamat Dveshat Bhayat Snehat Yatha Bhakteshware Manah Aveshya Tad Aghahitva Bahavas Tad Gatim Gato. These 6 relationships are Kama, Dvesha, Bhaya, Sambandha, Sneha, Bhakta. So in Kama, gopis comes under Kama. In Kama, there's no requirement of title. They love Krishna without title, and only Krishna's Okhyam, only Krishna's happiness is the priority. There's no other priority, and that comes under Kama. So Kama is Shuddha Prem, pure love here, not any lusty desire. And next is Dvesha. Dvesha and Bhai. In Dvesha and Bhai, full absorption is there. But their bhakti is not comes under Uttam Bhakti, because they are not favorable to Krishna. They are full absorption in Dvesha and Bhaya, but not in favorable way. So in Dvesha and Bhaya rasa comes and Shishupal comes under Dvesha and Bhaya. Next is 4th is Sambandha. In Sambandha, Vrashnis comes here. So these Vrashnis are not the Mathura and Dwarkavasis. These Vrashnis are Brajavasis who have relationship with Krishna, like Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda Maiya, and his friends and servants. So this comes under Sambandha. And next is Sneha. So Pandavas comes under Sneha because they have love for Krishna. But in their love, there is a pradhanta of Aishwarya Gyan Pradhan, because they come under mixed category. Sometimes they forget that Krishna is the God, and sometimes they remember that Krishna is the God. So their love is kind of mixed. Sorry, Prabhuji. Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So Pandavas comes under Sneha category. So mostly their knowledge of Supreme Personality of Godhead about Krishna is predominates. That's why they comes under Sneha category. And last is Bhakta. So Narad Muni is the best example of Bhakta who follows Vedai Bhakti properly. So from these 6 rasas, we need to see which rasa is favorable for which rasa comes under or what all the rasas who comes under Ragatmika rasa. So from the example we can see only Kama and Sambandha comes under Ragatmika. Only in these 2 rasa, if we develop relationship with Krishna, we can follow the footsteps of Brajavasis. This Gopis and Nanda Baba Yashoda Maya. So to develop, so from this rasa we can identify like which relationship we can develop, what is our natural inclination. Do we have some love kind of relationship with uh, Krishna? How we can see Krishna? How we identify our relationship with him? Do we have parental love for Krishna? Do we have friendship love for Krishna? And from these rasas, then we can identify what is our natural inclination, and accordingly we'll try to select some Brajavasi devotees and try to follow their footsteps so that we can develop rag, love for Krishna, and will develop that lobha to attain their bhava in similar mode. Yeah. So so far we discussed the definition and types of Raganuga Bhakti. So next we'll discuss the eligibility. How can we develop those qualities so that we will develop Raganuga Bhakti, will develop Rag to love Krishna. So there is in 2 ways we will be eligible for Raganuga Bhakti. To develop the lobh. Yeah. To being greedy, to obtain the mode of Nitya Siddha Vrajavasis who are fixed in Ragatmika Bhakta is very important to be eligible for Raganuga Bhakti. Also, we have to be in material world. Is also one of the eligibility of Raganuga Bhakti, because the Ragatmika Bhaktas, they are in Braja, they are already in Nitya Siddha. They are already in Nitya Siddha and they are already in Golok Dham. And we have to develop that lobh to obtain their mode, to obtain their bhav is very important. So lobh, greed is very important, is the eligibility for developing Raganuga Bhakti. And second, knowing about Ragatmika Bhakta. Until unless we'll know about the Ragatmika Bhaktas, who are Ragatmika Bhaktas, how they serve Krishna, how they love Krishna, how they are dedicated their whole life for Krishna. Once we know about Ragatmika Bhakta, it will be very easier for us to develop their bhav. Because ultimately we have to develop that lobh to obtain their bhav. So it is very important to know their bhav. Once we know their bhav, gradually we'll try to obtain that bhav to serve, to develop the Raganuga Bhakti. Next is symptom of Raganuga Bhakti. So how can we understand that, yeah, now that symptoms are growing in us, that symptoms are developing in us. So if we can examine ourselves, there's if we are following rules and regulation out of love, not because of some shastric injunction, or because our parampara said, or not because of some foundation. Once we start following regulation out of love, that is one of the symptoms of developing Raganuga Bhakti. Next is desire to develop bhava of Ragatmika Bhakti. Once our desire is increasing to develop the bhava of Ragatmika Bhakti is also one of the symptoms of Raganuga Bhakti. Also, we can see we are not disregarding Shastras, but we are following Shastra out of love and attachment. That is also one of the symptoms of Raganuga Bhakti. Also, and there is no other, there is also only motivation, there is no other motivation. There is no other motivation of liberation, 5 kind of liberation. For Bhakti, there is only 4 kind of liberation. There is no other motive. The only motive is love for Krishna, love and attachment for Krishna. And what to do if we don't have lobha? So how can we develop that lobha? So continue performing Vedi Bhakti with sincerity, seriousness, and steadiness. We can develop that lobha. And also by attentively studying and hearing Srimad Bhagavatam in the association of Rasik-minded devotees, Ragatmika Bhaktas or Raganuga Bhaktas, we can develop that lobha. Also, complete absorption in Srimad Bhagavatam is very important. The complete absorption in the Leela Katha of Sri Krishna is very important to develop that lobha. And once we continue our performing our Vedic Bhakti with full sincerity, we'll develop the lobha gradually. Yeah. So our last is how one can execute or perform Raganuga Bhakti. So in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, from verse 1.2.294 to 296, these 3 verses are very important and the core verses to understand the performance of Raganuga Bhakti. We can perform Raganuga Bhakti in internal and external way, internal and external process. So internally we have to develop our mood in the footsteps of Ragatmika Bhaktas who are Nitya Siddhas Vrajvasis. And externally, one should follow all the rules and regulations that are given that are followed by the acharyas. So we have to do sadhana as per our Siddha there, and we have to meditate our sadhak there, and we have to meditate on the forms and leelas of Krishna as per our mode and bhav, and according to our Siddha there. Also, to perform Raganuga Bhakti, it is very, very important. Before performing Raganuga Bhakti, Anartha Nivrati is extremely required. Otherwise, we'll mix up the things. We'll not able to do it purely. So, Anartha Nivrati is extremely required. Also, yeah. So, as discussed, we have to follow. We have to do seva as per sadhak de and siddha de both. We should not disregard the rules and regulation. We should follow all the rules and regulation. All the limbs of Vedic Bhakti are also applicable to Raganuga Bhaktas. Yeah, but there is some concession, like one can follow those limbs who are favorable for their mood according to their selected Brajvasis, and one should follow doing Raganuga Bhakti as per their selected Brajvasis and as per their natural inclination. Also, yeah, for performing Raganuga Bhakti, it is very important that Aishwari Gyan Pradhan should be avoided. Because with Aishwari Gyan Pradhan, we won't be able to love Krishna as a human being. But Krishna wanted that love. Krishna wanted the human form of love, the genuine love. He doesn't want that godly love, that he is God and that's why we are serving and loving him. Krishna wanted genuine love. That's why Mahaprabhu comes to this material world to distribute the Raganuga Bhakti. Yeah, and also we can understand only by Krishna's mercy when we can develop the greed for that bhava, and then we develop the we can develop the lobha and gradually will develop the qualities of Ragatmika Bhakta to love Krishna. Yeah, so we can understand, so what are the key points here? Complete absorption in Srimad Bhagavatam, complete absorption in complete absorption in Srimad Bhagavatam is very, very important here, because it will gradually develop. It will get, by absorbing in Srimad Bhagavatam, the Raganuga Bhakti or the lobe will appear gradually, and we can then gradually will develop those qualities, those attachment for Krishna. Yes. Yeah, that's, I think I'm done, Prabhuji. If anyone has any question and comments, please ask, and please forgive me if I did any mistake. Prabhuji.
Very nice presentation, Mataji. I know it's a hard topic, complex topic, but you did a very good job. The flow of thought, initially I thought like you were going very deep into the beginning few verses, but very quickly you sort of came down to the core principles of Raganuga Bhakti, the practices, these 3 verses that are shown here. And before that also the criteria, the symptoms, the characteristics, and what to do if one has not developed lobha. Those are very important points which help a sadhak to understand what Raganuga Bhakti is all about. And your stress that, yes, the absorption in Srimad Bhagavatam as being such a vital component. All these points I think you covered, you got the gist covered very nicely in the short time of, that was given. So very good job you have done. You've shown that you understand this topic well.
Thank you so much.
Any other devotees want to ask any questions or any comments or appreciation for Mataji? Please share. Yes, Madhvi Manjari Mataji, go ahead.
Very nice presentation, Mataji. So, Mataji, I have one doubt. Like, I am not clear with this. You make it understand us very well, but I am not clear with this. That you are saying that in this Aishwarya Gyan should be avoided when you have to become a Raganuga Bhaktas. So, for us, we should never become a Raganuga Bhaktas because we know Krishna is like a god.
Actually, very nice question, Mataji. The same question I have asked Paramkona Prabhuji Sunday.
Okay.
So we can, so from the understanding, I think Prabhuji will correct it later. From the understanding, we can be Raganuga Bhakta, because it's not like we should not have knowledge. We can have knowledge, but that will not be predominating. Our love for Krishna will be predominating, not Aishwarya Gyan should be predominating. So for Brajavasis, sometimes they know, like he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but their love, because of their love, they reject that Aishwarya Gyan and they accept him as his child, his lover. So there will be Aishwarya Gyan, but I think by practicing, by following the footsteps, we'll develop that bhava, so that knowledge will be avoided. Can not totally, but we will have knowledge, but that will not be predominating. Prabhuji, please correct, Prabhuji.
You said it very nicely. So I don't have anything else to add to it, but I will just probably say it also the same thing again that you said, as a repeat, that it is the pradhanata or the Aishwarya Gyan pradhanata, which is the thing that should be avoided. Aishwarya Gyan is there. And if you read the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, even the gopis say that, yes, he is the Supreme Lord. So many times in the Gopi Geet also, you are the Paramatma, you are the Supreme Lord. But that is not the pradhan, that's not the main focus of their love for Krishna. They are not loving Krishna because he is God. many times his being a god comes in the way of their love. So it's like, if you are the wife of the president, and sometimes being a president comes in the way of your love because he's traveling so much, or he has to, he has so many bodyguards around him, and you cannot hug him whenever you want because other people are present all the time, all those things. But for the wife, he's just the husband, or for a mother, if he's not, returning his phone calls, she will get as angry as when he was not the president, something like that. So the knowledge is there that he is the president, but that doesn't mean much for the mother or the wife. For them, he is the husband or he is the child, and they will treat him as such. They will say, you may be president, you can keep your presidentship in your office. When you are with me, you are not anybody, you're no big boss. For me, you are the same person as you were before. So that is, I hope you get that sense.
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you so much. Actually, this question I was supposed to ask from you, and I got it like in her presentation, so I just thought that I should ask her. Thank you so much.
He gave a very correct answer. Yes, Rajesh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Very nice presentation. Thank you so much. I actually missed this part, so this was a nice refresher and for me, actually. Thank you so much. I have a couple of questions, Mataji. Still I'm trying to understand this part. So you said that one thing is, the first question I have is, those who are practicing, maybe just please correct me if I got this point right or wrong. So as a sadhana, you start with a sadhaka, Vedic sadhaka, sadhana, you do it, and then there will be a point, or there can be a point where you develop a raganuga that is possible, right?
Yes, Raganuga Bhakti is also one of the sadhan bhakti only. So in sadhan bhakti, there is two categories. One is Vedahi and second is Raganuga sadhan bhakti.
So my
So
question is, when you start with sadhana, is there a point where it changes to raganuga? Does it
yes,
need to be?
yes,
You
yes,
mean
yes.
when you start with Vaidhi? You said when you start with sadhan. Both are sadhan, she's saying.
Got it.
Yeah. Yes, Prabhuji, we can develop. I think in the one of the slide I have shared, like if we don't have, if it doesn't have that lobha, that greed for developing or obtaining their attachments, then the one of the criteria is by sincerely following Vedi Sadhan Bhakti. So if you are sincerely following Vedi Sadhan Bhakti, like according whatever instructions, injunctions you got from your spiritual master or your parampara, if you're following it with very sincerely, Prabhuji mentioned three things here: sincerely study and seriously. If you're following very seriously, then definitely, then I think you will you can achieve, you can develop that raganuga bhav.
Okay, Mataji. But it is it compulsory that one has to go through raganuga plan, or to continue with the sadhana bhakti and attain bhava and prema?
Bhava and prema, there is no any like necessity. One can develop bhav like directly also. But I think Vedi Sadhan Bhakti is required. We should follow the instructions that we have got from our seniors or Guru Parampara. Prabhuji will all, I think, explain it more.
Yeah, I mean, so one thing, Rajesh Prabhu, you keep saying sadhan bhakti. I mean, I'm not trying to pick words, but you need to be mentally very clear. It's not just sadhan bhakti. What you really want to say is Vaidhi sadhan bhakti.
Vaidhi sadhana.
Raganuga bhakti is also a sadhan bhakti. So that having that terminology clear clarifies a lot in your mind, I feel. So the right terminology, one should stress on the use of the right terms first of all. Now, yes, directly from Vaidhi sadhan bhakti, one can go to bhava bhakti and to prema bhakti. So there is absolutely no requirement that Raganuga bhakti is not the next stage after Vaidhi sadhan bhakti. It's not like Vaidhi to Raganuga to bhava to prema. That is not the case. There may be that a switch happens in the heart of a devotee who has been following Vaidhi bhakti towards Raganuga. So he may switch track and then go to bhava from Raganuga, but you can definitely go to bhava bhakti from Vaidhi bhakti as well. The difference is what kind of a relationship you perceive with Sri Krishna. Is it Aishwarya Jnana Pradhan, or is it Naratva based on his humanness? That is the key difference. So if you continue your Vaidhi Bhakti, which means you are doing it out of injunction, and which means you have some regard for the injunction, you fear the injunction, you want to follow it because it is great, it is good. It basically means you have Aishwarya Gyan Pradhanata, you are doing it for the great God. And there is no problem with that. You can have bhava for the great God. You can have prema for the great God. You can have all the way till prema bhakti for the Aishwarya form of Bhagwan. And in that case, one can go to Vaikuntha Loka, Dwarka Lok, etc., etc. So there is that path is always available. Sometimes a switch, or many times a switch may happen from Vaidhi Bhakti to Raga Bhakti if one comes in contact with such a Raganuga Bhakta or a Bhav Bhakta who has gone through the Raganuga Bhakti stage, or by intense absorption in Srimad Bhagavatam, etc., etc.
Okay, Prabhuji. The next question is like, when the switch happens, do we need to change our gurus? Because as Mataji was explaining, Raganuga line follows a Ragatmika Bhakta. So does it mean that one has to switch gurus, or they can still have the same guru and then continue with that?
Can I answer, Prabhu?
Yes, please.
Yeah, yes, Prabhu. So in the presentation, we also in this last slide you can see we have to follow like our services as a siddha sadhak there also and siddha there also. So to be in the to follow the sadhak there, one should follow all the regulations and rules regulation given by by following the footsteps of acharyas. So in that you can you can I think understand that there is no need to change guru or change in the any guru parampara, because if you see the siddha deha of our gurus also, our guru parampara, like all like Group Goswamis and Sanatan Goswamis, they also have siddha deha, and they are also ragatmika bhaktas actually, and they internally they are siddha deha and they are meditating according to ragatmika bhaktas, as per ragatmika bhaktas footsteps. But as per siddha sadhak they are also following all the rules and regulation. They are obeying to their spiritual master. They are, so we can see siddha there and sadhak there. Both services, both we should done the service in both the as per both sadhak there and siddha there. So I don't think there is a necessity of changing the guru.
Is that helpful, Rajesh Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
I would just like to add that again, it is not that change of guru is must and one should not. It is preordained by Bhagwan that the guru, yes, we must try to find the guru and the guru has to evaluate us. We need to evaluate the guru, but once the diksha is taken, and that is then the Lord has a plan for us. And even if we have the inclination to move to Raganuga Bhakti, that same guru will show us the path. So there is no need to reject the guru or to change the guru. We might adopt the teachings or take shelter of a Shiksha Guru. So in our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, the Diksha and Shiksha Guru system is very well established, and one can have a Diksha Guru and multiple Shiksha Gurus. Now, Shiksha Guru is a big topic. I will not go into the details here, but under the guidance of the Diksha Guru, one can take Shiksha in Raganuga Bhakti Marg from either the Diksha Guru, that would be best, or take additional help. You know, there is like a main professor, and there are, others whom you can get, tutoring from or other help from. So that is the, but many of these Raganuga Bhakti discussions are not generalized rules. They are very customized, and therefore one needs to approach one-on-one and get sort of customized guidance that for me, what will be, you're asking, should one change guru? And if I gave some answer, it would be like a generic thing. Oh, everybody, this is a general principle, that there are no general principles other than what are there in Samrit Sindhu on Raganuga Bhakti. Everything else has to be highly customized because it depends on the exact mood and attitude of the devotee who feels that they need guidance on the Rag mark.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Mataji, for answering the question.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Very nice. You answered the questions very nicely. And just now I'm seeing that in the chat, Medha Mataji is appreciating both you and Makrand Prabhu for very nice presentations.
Thank you.
Anybody else wants to say something? Anything?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. 3 wonderful presentations, definitely. And as Rajesh Prabhu said, it's kind of refreshing course for every one of us before we prepare for the exam in next 1 month. And thank you, Shamishwari Mataji, Makrand Prabhu, Shamlila Mataji, for nice presentations as well. And when you quoted wonderful verses from Shastra as well, and wonderful references. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. So we will end today's sessions here, and the next student presentations we will do on Saturday. Please try to, practice with a partner, and also try to, manage the time. I think some of the presentations were a little bit went over time today. So try to keep within the time limit. Saturday especially, we will have more presentations. So timing will be a little more crucial. Otherwise, we'll be, going way over time. So with that, let's conclude here. Thank you so much to Shamlila Mataji, Makrand Prabhu, and Shameshwari Mataji for very nice presentations and for helping us to review the topic and internalize it better.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you
Hare
so
Krishna.
much, all the three
Thank you, Prabhuji.
presenters.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare
Very,
Krishna.
very nice.
Very, very nice presentation.
Very nice. Very nice. All three. Really. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, we will close the call here.